get baconator, then it's not good for my mental health because now I'm denying myself something that I truly enjoy.
Hey man, you look good though.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, man. I see you doing your thing on Instagram.
Nah, hey, trying to man. I'm just trying different ventures out, things that make me happy. But I was talking to Jay. Was it last
Look, I
week?
watched the
And
whole thing. Like, I'm
yo,
talking about the whole,
I almost
the whole
forgot to start
thing.
recording. Really? Oh man, I
It
appreciate that, dude.
yeah, it's funny because I think I was getting ready to upload to YouTube or I was editing a video or something like that, and I just refreshed my page real quick, and I saw the first two faces. I was just like, wait a minute, I know this dude. I was like, what the hell are they talking about? Like, because I remember when I think I had told you about my channel and you had subscribed or something like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, and I was just like, okay, I see you started something. I was just like, let me check it out. It was so new. I was just like, let me check it out. And I clicked on it, and the next thing you know, I was listening and everything because I got three displays. So I put it on this display while I was working. And the whole time you guys were talking, I felt like just commenting and everything. But I watched the whole thing from you guys talking
dude.
about Admiral Way, the apartment, to the Tyler Perry shows, to Power. I was like, this is the conversation I need to join. I was just like,
Dude,
that's what's up, man.
nah, I
So I
appreciate
still
that.
live in
That
Virginia,
was that
man.
was. I gotta see. I would love to come out there because it's like I don't know anyone really there. Because like once I left,
Yeah,
I was like, I'm a nomad. I'm like, all right, I guess I'll be here now.
yeah,
But now that I know you're, I mean, I've kind of known you were there, but like, it's one of those things. It's like you're
yeah,
living life. Like I'm married now, so you're kind of just,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like snap. I guess I should go to Virginia. No, I really appreciate it. Like, that's why he had to be the first one. And then, like, I haven't advertised it fully yet. I'm just trying to get a catalog going. But people are
Yeah.
interested. And, when you reached out, I was like, you're the next one up, man. Like, I had bump other people to the side. I got to talk to my guy. So,
That's what's up, man. I
no,
appreciate
man.
it. But
I
I
appreciate
was
you
like,
listening to the whole thing.
yeah, it's just one of those where so I've come to have a little bit of an understanding how YouTube works, and I'm still getting better at it. And one of the things about YouTube is YouTube algorithm. They watch
Hmm.
when people drop off, and
Yes.
the more people drop off, the less your video is gonna get recommended. And I was just like, these are my bros. Even if I just happened to watch the whole thing completely because I was invested in it because I know you, I know you
Hmm.
too, and I just felt like I was part of the conversation, and I was just like, I'm gonna watch it. So even if for some reason, like I was watching the one where you were talking about your issue with MCU, I started
Oh, bro.
watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started watching, but I needed to edit. And if I'm editing, my audio is playing. So I was just like, all right, I want this video to play through. So I'm gonna just put on this browser and just let it play through, you know, just play through, even if I'm not paying attention as much, but I still know that it's gonna help the algorithm. So
Oh,
it's just
yeah.
like I want you to in my mind, it's like I don't want the same thing I had with that fitness channel where you put in so much work to something, but then the right people don't see it because of the way the
Yeah.
algorithm works. So
Yeah.
I was just like, if I can help out in any way I can with the views or whatever, I will do that. Plus, it was an interesting conversation. You know,
No, I appreciate
I
that,
love
man.
that here because this is somebody that I felt like this is something that you should have done because I like your skate. I like your roller skate journey. I wish you would document it more, like your
Yeah.
falls and stuff like that.
I'm gonna do that because you know what's funny? Like I fall right before I turn the camera on, and it's like I get in the zone, and I just kind of
Hmm.
forget to like, oh, I should be recording this. Like when you mentioned I should get the 360, I know so many people here that have that, and I'm like,
Dude,
I gotta get it.
uh, I was just recording with it. I did a review. Okay, where is it at? I got it here somewhere. Um,
Yeah.
I used the 360 a lot. You can, especially for what you do, man, roller skating, dude, it can get different perspective. I can use it for this right now. I could use that 360 and it will capture everything. Like you could use it as a
Really?
webcam. Yeah, you could use it as a webcam. It was my main camera when I traveled. When I went to Bali, when I went to Mexico, DR, I use those cameras. Whenever they come out with a new one, if I feel like it's worth the upgrade, I'll upgrade. Yeah, it's an
Well,
incredible camera. I
I've
think
seen those.
it's the single best camera you could buy in a year. Like that's how powerful it is. There is only one downside to it. The downside is that the lenses are exposed. But if you have the protective lens cover, that's not a problem. So if
Okay.
that one breaks, you just buy a new one. They're like $30. But besides those, it's completely waterproof. Like any video you see on my Instagram where I'm inside the water completely, it's that camera.
Yeah.
Sometimes it looks like I'm swimming. It looks like someone else is recording me. Nope, it's me. It's just that you can't see the selfie stick.
That's awesome, dude. Because
Yeah,
I've we've been looking at your Instagram. I've looked at the fitness stuff and everything else, and I'm like you mentioned,
mhm.
like how you've worked so hard and things just don't catch on. And then you were the first person in my mind when I felt like all the fitness influencers sort of blew up the last 5 years. I'm like, where's Kola at?
Yeah,
Because this he was doing the bodybuilding,
the crazy
calisthenics,
stuff.
all that before I even knew anything about that. And I'm like, oh
Yeah,
man, like it's crazy how the wave works and how we're the slave to the algorithm crap. And you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
I will take your advice on getting that camera though, for real. Maybe that'll
yeah.
be my Christmas
Uh,
present.
I was about to say you could wait till Black Friday, see if there's a
Oh
deal.
yeah.
There usually is a deal, or you can make it a birthday present for yourself.
What camera are you using now? Are you using your webcam or a different camera for
So
the video right now?
uh, for the video right now, I'm using a camera called the Osmo Pocket 3. It is an incredible camera. I'm about to do a review of this camera.
Oh yeah.
It's if it wasn't the 360, I would say this is the camera of the year. You can use it for just about anything. You can use it for vlogging. You can use it for YouTube Studio, and you can use it as a travel camera. The only downside to this is that it's not waterproof, so you can like take it in the water, anything. It has a gimbal on it. Have you ever heard of it? Osmo Pocket 3?
Yeah, yeah. I have the Osmo 4, the bigger gimbal, and then the Zoom. I have two different ones.
Yeah. Yeah, so
So
there's different versions. So this one is called Osmo Pocket. The Pocket
okay.
is the latest one that they have. So there's different, like there is the Osmo, which is the gimbal itself, and then there is
Mm-hmm.
the like the
Yeah.
then there is the DJI action camera. This one is called the Osmo Pocket. So the Osmo Pocket is a 1 inch sensor. It's supposed to compete with. It's supposed to be like a mirrorless or DSLR camera that you
Yeah.
can put in your pocket. So it has an incredible camera. I mean, that's what you're looking at right now. It's what I'm gonna be using doing my outdoor videos with now.
Okay.
It,
Because like on
it's a
my screen, it looks crisp.
yeah. It's a bit expensive, but it is absolutely worth the money.
Shoot, it's
Yeah,
only money, baby. Like you got to get
yeah,
it. Because
yeah,
on my screen, it looks crisp, but also because we just had a hurricane here, so my internet's a little laggy,
yeah,
which
yeah.
kind of sucks. Because like your video goes from crisp to like a little blurry, but I think it'll
Mhm.
turn out fine once we're done processing this. But
Okay.
like I've always known you were a tech enthusiast. Like I've watched all your
Yeah,
tech videos and stuff like that. Um,
yeah.
so you're like a
I've been a
jack of
tech,
all trades
yeah, I've been a tech fan for a long time.
since
I don't
I've
know.
known you.
Yeah, do you remember in A school I had a watch that could make calls?
Dude, you were talking like you brought up that watch so many times. I was like, yo, he's into this watch. He's about to turn into like a Power Ranger by the time this thing's done. Yo, because like that's how I knew. I was like, yo, he's in the tech like that. Because
Yeah,
I had no idea about watches, but you were like, yo, this watch
yeah.
does
And this
this, it
was,
does that. Man, like living in this day and age, you must be like a kid in the candy store right now.
oh
There's
man,
so much
signal.
out. So I think we froze. Did I freeze on you?
Yeah, yeah. I think the signal went dull for a second.
Ah, my bad. Yeah, it literally the internet's back on. I'm like back at it. Um,
Hmm.
if this doesn't work, we can switch to like Zoom or something else. That if it's a lot better, I don't really care.
It's
Um,
fine.
I'm
I
just
mean,
happy to
besides
talk
that
with you.
hiccup, it seems
Okay.
Yo, real quick, do you still use that 301-213 number?
Yeah, I've that's my only number I've ever had since
Oh, okay.
high school. I don't change.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't changed my number either. This is the same number I've had since high school. But
Dude, yeah, I'm like I don't it's funny. I even my sisters like we chat via like Facebook and Instagram and they
mhm.
live down the street. It's just like I can't imagine like the phone number is just used to for me like to man, I forgot passwords, send me the code. It's legit.
Mhm.
It's crazy. It's like how things have changed in the last since what 2012, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
How come you never change your number too? Like you just always like, look, this is my number. That's it.
Yeah, I've always just kept this number because, for one, I hate the idea of trying to memorize a new number. Yeah, and then for me, it's just like this is it. I'm not changing it because my last four are actually very similar to my last four of my social security number.
Okay,
Yeah, literally almost just one letter different. So I was just like, I mean, just one number different. So I was just like, all right. Now I also
that's
have another
funny.
phone number, but that phone number is for like my business and all that stuff. So that way, and if I'm trying to like look at something and I don't want to get spam call, I use that number. That way I don't have to. That way I don't get forced into changing my number eventually.
That's
So
fair.
yeah, so all my spam will go to that number.
That's how I
I
feel
mean,
about my
I
emails.
figure, yeah, yeah,
I've got several like because Nico for a while this has been such a unique name. So like there's AOLs, there's the
yeah,
Gmails, there's
hmm
God forbid if an old work email still works, I'm like I can sign up for a free account for that.
yeah,
Like yeah, same way. I'm just lazy. It's just kind of like I didn't want a Florida number. I didn't really
mm,
want that. It's the number I committed to memory.
yeah.
I still know my mom's old work number. Sometimes
Wow.
I test that number out every now and again just to see if it
Yeah,
works because we used to have to call her when we came home from school.
yeah,
I just like it, like Maryland every day, 301.
yeah,
Never
yeah.
change.
That's what's up, man.
Now I've seen your like videos on your bike, riding around
Yeah,
Va Beach on the
yeah,
strip and all that. Man, I'm like,
yeah,
and I would definitely skate with you while you're riding and all that stuff. Just because now that I can, I'm like, I'd love to skate there now. That's all I think
yeah,
about.
yeah. I even have a Segway that I can ride. Just you're probably gonna be way faster though, because the
Oh,
Segway the Segway is only it's limited to like 11 miles an hour. So it
you know
just
what?
I'm not
I
gonna be able
should
to keep
clock
up.
myself. I should
Yeah,
clock myself. But
yeah.
again, you mentioned like falling, but that's how you really fall. Like the faster you get, the less control you have, and
hmm
you fall a few good times. You're like, God, thank God nobody saw that. But
Yeah,
now I definitely would like to get a Segway. I've always thought they were kind of interesting. And
yeah,
then not skateboarding. I've seen people with like the electric skateboards and skates, and I'm like,
yeah.
I'm still manual. You still have that bike you built?
That the one I built at the apartments that got
Yeah.
stolen.
Oh, oh
Yeah,
no.
funny story. So this was when I was back at ODU. I was in college
Yeah.
at ODU at that time. I was like, I'm gonna ride to campus to work out, on campus at the gym. So I go there, I ride all the way there, and I did leg day. My legs were toasted. I was like, all right, I can't ride back.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna lock it up. Call my friend. I call her. She comes pick me up. She takes me home. The next time I was like, I'm gonna take my truck to go pick up the bike, right? So I stayed home,
Mm-hmm.
I ate a little bit, and I took my truck. I went to go get the bike. It was gone. They stole it. And I was like, man, I locked it up. So I went to the campus police, right? And they looked in the camera and they see somebody. It looked at it and it left, and then it came back with something and with a hoodie, and it was just yanking and it cut it and just took it. I'm still salty, man.
Dude.
Till today, I'm still on the lookout for that bike.
I mean, hell yeah. It was clean. It looked beautiful. It was
Yeah,
blue,
I love,
right? And it was like the handlebars, very LA
It's
style. And I was
old
just
school.
like,
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I was inspired by the
so
movie Beauty Boy for that bike. Yeah,
you know, you know what? That's so Jody's bike riding around. They stole
yeah,
my bike, huh?
yeah.
Yo,
But
dude. How long ago was that? That's got to be. I mean, that was like a couple years ago. That still be fresh though, right? You said it still
No,
hurts. I'd imagine that.
no, it's been so long ago, but it just still hurts. This was back in like 2016, but it still hurts.
Oh wow, Trump did it. Blame him.
I know, I
2016.
know. But I've built so many bikes since then. That was just like a really classic one. I've built like a bunch of
Yeah.
electric bikes now, but I just love that one for the yeah. Yeah.
You know what's interesting about the electric bikes? I see them a lot on the skate trails, and I'm torn between whether or not they should be on the trails or be on like the side of the road with the marathon bikers, because I almost got hit by somebody on an electric bike like 4 weeks ago. And
Mm.
I think he lost control of it or something like that. And, you're on the right, I'm on the right side of the trail skating and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And I just so happened to look up from just on my phone and I see this guy coming at me. Well, he's not coming at me, but he's on his side.
Right.
So then I look back down,
Right.
like, okay, he's doing his thing. I look up, this dude is like inches away from me, and I had to like run onto wood chips. And it
Mm-hmm.
was kind of smooth if anybody videotaped that. I'm running on these wood chips, dodging out the way, and then I hop, leap on back onto the pavement and still roll.
Yeah.
Now, if anybody's learning to skate, that's why balance is so important, because if you don't know how to
Right.
do that, that would have been
Mm.
my
It's been
ass.
bad.
But then
Yeah.
I was just like, yo, brother, like, one, why are these things on the trail? Two,
Yeah.
get control of it. Um,
Yeah.
and that was my
So
first quote unquote bad experience with it.
yeah, it's there's a blur line between if they should be on the trail or not. So for example, right, the newest bike that I built,
Yeah.
it can go 50 miles an hour. That is
See,
not so
that
so
should
so
be a no
so, so,
trail.
so that's not a bike that you would say should be on the trail. But here's the thing: when I'm riding on the sidewalk, I'm not using any power. I'm pedaling.
Okay.
Very often, I actually pedal it as a workout because it's such a heavy bike. It takes a lot of power, leg power to pedal. So when I pedal it, I get a lot of pump, a lot of workout, but I'm not using any power. Now, when I actually get on the road, but when I'm on the road, that's when I go fast. But I'm on the road with the cars. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so it's like, should it be on a trail? Well, if the person pedals or use a very low power, yeah, it's when they're speeding. That's when it shouldn't be. Because if you think about it, right, I hear this a lot. Man, it should not be able to go that fast. Most cars can go 120. Well, 110, but they have a speed limit of
Mm-hmm.
110, 150, whatever. It doesn't mean they always go that fast. It doesn't mean they're gonna go that fast.
Yeah.
When you need that power, it's there, it's available. I
Yeah.
think that people that ride on the trail, I think that e-bikes should be allowed on the trail, but at a capped speed limit. So they should not be using the power to ride on the trail unless it's going uphill, because their e-bikes are much heavier than regular bicycle. You're not going to be able to pedal without
Mm-hmm.
power. So maybe like 10 miles an hour. Dude, I first time going to a bicycle trail here in Chesapeake, there were guys flying. Guess what? It was manual bikes, no power. They were just flying. I'm like, I didn't
Oh.
I didn't realize bikes go this fast in the trails.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they
but
can.
if that had been an electric bike, people would have been like, "Oh man, this is why electric bikes should not be allowed because they're going too fast." Well, you can go pretty fast on
Yeah.
non-electric
I've
bicycles.
seen it.
So
I've seen it
yeah,
when they're in their groups too. They're booking it.
yeah. So it's just that I think that what we have is irresponsible people on electric bicycles. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it comes
A
down to,
lot of
because
them.
you should not be on a e-bike on a trail speeding. You know what I'm saying? It just shouldn't
No.
be. Not only can you injure someone else, you can injure yourself. You know,
Man,
and
it's interesting because these people, they're responsible, and I get it. It looks fun. I would love to, you know, ride one myself. I just never had the opportunity to do so, and
good,
I get
good.
it. It's just,
I ride, I ride every day, unless it's raining, because I have a F-150 and it's lifted,
yeah,
so I use a
yeah,
lot of gas because it's lifted, big tires and everything. So to cut
mm-hmm.
down on those, I just ride my bike. Like I would put 100 miles on my bike in like a week on a bicycle.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I skate every day. Besides these last two
Yeah.
days, it's the same thing. Like I'm
Hmm.
putting some miles on those wheels and on my legs. Like it's the best leg day
Yeah.
for me. Like
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
doing that. My thing is on
Yeah.
this trail, like on this trail right here in Sanford, the Riverwalk, the
Yeah.
you got fishermen on one side fishing, and then you got their people with their kids that are just not they're walking like side by side, which is another pet peeve of mine. This I don't I'll go off on people that walk side by side on a trail. It's like, yo, two by
Hmm.
two, brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you
I
know.
agree.
So nah, I'm all for that. I would like to get one day, and just
I think you
travel and
should, man.
just because it's perfect.
It's really fun. I think that there's just a lot of misconception around it. I think that you can get a lot of workouts from that. People think that, oh, it's
Mm-hmm.
e-bike. So I had somebody tell me one time, it was like, that's cheating. I'm like, it's not like I compete. What do you mean by that's cheating?
I'm not competing with you. What are you talking about?
You didn't. What
I'm
do you
trying to
mean
get to
by
work.
cheating? Yeah, I was like, I'm not. What do you mean by cheating? Cheating what? I'm not. But and then I had someone else tell me, it was like, real men get their workout and using a manual bike instead of electric. I was like, dude, I worked out more today than you probably worked out in the last 1 month.
Like
I'm in the
that's
gym
not
every day.
especially
Like
like
I
somebody
even
telling that to you. I was like,
yeah,
that
yeah,
person's wiping like Cheeto dust off their shirt at the same time. Like, yeah, a real man can pedal
yeah,
40
yeah.
miles on a bike with no brakes. Like,
Yeah.
get out of here. Like, all right,
There,
boomer.
what actually made me get into electric bikes was because in 2016 I had a knee surgery and I was not able to ride bikes like I used to, especially when going up a hill or overpass or those small bridges. When you after
Mm-hmm.
a knee surgery and ACL tear and partial meniscus tear, everything starts to hurt. So I was like,
Oh
man,
wow, yeah.
how can I get back into riding? Because I love riding. I love just like being in the open air, feeling the freshness and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I saw this ad on Instagram for electric bike, and I was just like, damn, I never even thought about it. So I ended up
Yeah.
buying one. And just like that, I was back to riding, and I just fell in love.
It's amazing how the
So,
ads get. That's how I got for skating. I got one good ad. I was like, I don't like
hmm
running. Walking's okay. I got to do something.
yeah, yeah, that's a good. It's just like one of those. If you have injuries, knee injuries or something like that, you want to do something that you enjoy doing. Now you can actually have an assisted way of doing it. Now, if you just want to be active, you don't want to be on the couch watching TV, playing games all the time. You buy a roller skate and just skate.
Yeah,
Get a skateboard and active,
that's what
get
I do.
moving. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, here, like even in my office, I got my pull up bar, dip
Pull a
bar,
bar.
bench,
Yeah.
adjustable weights. Yeah, like I'm cranking out sets of 5, 10 nickel and dimes throughout the day. Especially when you work from
Hmm.
home, especially during COVID, I had
Yeah.
to do something.
Dude, I got this thing right here.
I recently, oh brother, yeah, man. Like
But
I recently, I mean, because you're a fitness dude, you're like you've always been like, it's
hmm
in your DNA. Like,
yeah.
do you do a lot of fitness challenge? Have you done any of those just to see if you could do them? I mean, I know you could, but more so like, I guess I should ask, how do you feel about?
So I'm one of those people that I don't. So I'm a bodybuilder. I get on stage. As a matter of fact, I
Yeah.
have a competition coming up next month, where I'm gonna be stepping back on
Oh
stage.
wow.
But and I'm a
Yeah.
pro. I became pro. There's actually an Olympiad going up this weekend right now. People doing the same thing that I
A
do.
word.
I don't
Yeah.
see myself as a bodybuilder. I see myself as an athlete first. What that means is that I get to test myself in many different aspects. So I'm not just those guys that go into the gym and lift a whole bunch of weights. I'm gonna do that, but you will also see me
Mm-hmm.
doing a bunch of pull-up challenges. Like last year, I did I don't know, I did some kind of. First, we did the rugged run or something like that, and then I did a pull-up
Mm-hmm.
contest, and then I did like a cardio-based endurance workout. I do it all, man. Like if and then I like the guy that I'm like the guy that well, I like to think of myself as a jack of all trades type of guy when it
Yeah.
comes to fitness. So when I think of myself, right, there is not a single competition or challenge that is going to come at me that I will fail at. If you want to challenge me at pull-ups, I
Yeah.
will do pull-ups against you. If you want to challenge me at one rep max, I will do it. Only thing I don't do is swimming. But besides that,
See
I do
that?
everything.
He's like, it's like it was in the Navy. Like, I don't swim. That's just not.
Yeah,
It's not gonna
yeah,
happen.
I don't do
Nah, that's
swimming, but
funny.
no, I do everything, man.
Like,
I
you'll go
do.
to the beach, but she's like, I'm not gonna swim.
Yeah, I'm not. But I would do everything. I would challenge myself. If
Well,
there's a competition right now for like the most pull-ups you can do, I will do it. If there's a challenge for the most
okay.
push-ups, I
What?
will do it. If there's a challenge for like heaviest lift, like weightlifting, bench competition, squat competition, I will do it. So
Okay.
I'm not a
Because
guy
like
that
I've.
some people are like endurance based athletes. So they will see how many pull-ups they can do, but you put them under weightlifting, they can't really lift a lot of weights. And then you see guys that can do a lot, they can lift a lot of weights, but they can't even pull their body up. I like
Yeah.
I like to do it all because not only is it fun for me, but it's healthy. You know what I'm saying? It's healthy to be able to challenge yourself in a cardio based way because for example, if you lift heavier, it's going to reduce the onset of osteoporosis, which is something that we all going to experience. You know, in our 40s, 50s, you see a lot of people with osteoporosis. That's because those people are not they didn't lift any weights, so those bone density is degrading. So lifting heavy
Yeah.
helps you with that. Now the cardio based
Yeah.
exercises that a lot of weightlifters don't do actually is also healthy for you because it helps the heart. You know, a lot of times scientists or doctors can predict a person's lifespan based on their heart health. So if you're not doing any form of cardio, you're just slowly killing yourself without realizing it. That's why that's not just
Okay.
the reason.
Yeah.
That's part of the reasons why I do it all. You know, just to challenge myself. Now, obviously, God forbid I could get killed in a car accident, but that's not
Oh
something that I
God.
chose.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If it was up to me, I get to dictate how everything goes, and I just want to give myself the best possible chance.
And that's a healthy way of thinking on it because I've been on my. That's one reason I started skating, just a way to get off the couch, especially since COVID. I put on more weight, especially when you like really start paying attention to it. And I recently, well, I completed it, but the 75 hard challenge,
Yeah,
where I don't know if you've heard of that, but
my
two
girl
two
told me
workouts a
about it.
day, a gallon of water a day. It's of course it's more mental, but it's amazing how all these challenges are just a roundabout way of just getting in better shape
Right.
essentially and having accountability. Did the I got on the scale, bought the scale with the body weight, body fat measuring, just to I
Yeah.
don't of course I don't ever know how accurate that is. And then I looked at old pictures of myself and compared them like, okay, because I'm a ectomorph essentially, right? I
Yeah.
can see like, all right, I can be 204, but not a muscular 204.
Hmm.
I need technically my healthiest like to get down. They say my maximum muscle potential is like run 180 something at 10-12% body fat. I did the
Hmm.
75 hard challenge. I went from 204 to like 180,
Wow.
and I'm leaning out, and I realize they say if I with no body fat I should be like 150, 160, which I don't want to do
Right.
that. But
Hmm.
it was an interesting challenge, and I was kind of against it for a while because I'm like, I'll just work out. But I realized I
Yeah.
need more of a structure.
Hmm.
And I even tried a lot of different things, and that actually worked. Of course, with diet, I've realized since I've gotten older that I really need to focus on my diet because I know exactly where the pounds go now. Like I didn't care
Hmm.
before, but now I know now.
Yeah.
Um, but no, like that 75 hard challenge, those challenges, like I find them interesting, but I think it awakens like the motivation, and I don't really need that to do it. It's kind
Hmm.
of a pain in the ass, really. Reading these
Yeah.
pages, drinking this gallons of water. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm
So
just curious, like, because
I find that doing those type of things helps you stay. So I don't have. I mean, you know me for a minute. I don't have a hard
mm,
time staying fit. But I love when I
No.
have a specific goal, when I'm chasing something. When I'm
Mm-hmm.
chasing something, I tend to be more consistent. So, for example, when I'm off season, when I'm not getting ready to compete, I'm eating, I'm training, but there is not a goal in mind. So sometimes I fall off. I just don't eat enough protein, or sometimes I don't eat enough. My problem is I don't eat enough, but I don't eat enough of the right thing, or I eat too much of the wrong thing, but I don't have a goal. Now, when I'm getting ready for a competition, because I know I have a competition,
Mm-hmm.
I'm strict with my diet. I am keeping everything up. Having a goal, so doing that 75 challenge, because there is something you're trying to accomplish, it helps you stay on track with your goals. So it's good that you're doing that, especially if you're trying
Well,
to change your body or whatever. So
well, me and my wife
you don't
are
have to
doing
do
it.
it.
Well, we've done
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, we did it, and now she went on to like the phase to the next stage of it. So she's currently doing that. I'm kind of like, all
Yeah.
right, I got to the way to want it now. I'm just trying to go overdrive, but without the limitations of the certain
Right.
diets. Because
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was really doing this. I mean, because I've had a trainer once before, and I lost some good weight with him too. But I realized like it has to be truly internal. I have to
Hmm.
work on myself to get to a point I wanted to. Now, you mentioned like even you struggle with getting the protein and all that other stuff. Like it's I don't want to say it's absurd, but it's kind of fascinating to know like, okay, I need this amount of protein in order to quote unquote gain muscle or lose fat. And I'm like, it's
Hmm.
a lot. And look at how you look. Like it took a while to get to that point. I don't know
Hmm.
if like I'm not asking your macros and none of that, but it's just
Hmm.
fascinating that these numbers dictate what our body looks like. And there used
Yeah.
to be a time where we didn't ever went off numbers. It was just intuitive. And that's
Yeah.
all my mind is kind of leaning towards that intuitive eating. Like, okay, cut out a lot of the snacks, get my skate on, do some body weight, and I watch my
Yeah.
body change. It's interesting to me.
Yeah. I'll tell you
Like,
the
do you
easiest way.
find, yeah,
I'll tell you the easiest way to go about it. First off, I want to go back to something you said. You're not an endomorph. I've known you long enough. You're not an endomorph.
what I say, ecto or endo?
You say you're an endomorph. You're not that.
Oh, did I?
You're
Okay.
Yeah. You're somewhere between mesomorph and ectomorph. So
Okay.
in your younger days, back in like 2010 to 2015 to 2014,
Hey, 21.
you were more so a mesomorph. At that point,
Okay.
I remember when I came back on leave. At that time, I was trying to buy a house, and I came to Virginia, and we went to Rockwell. We trained together. I remember seeing your delts and everything. You probably don't remember, but I
Oh,
remember vividly.
snap.
It was at
No.
Rockwell. Yeah, it was at Rockwell. Yeah, and I remember seeing you do pull-ups, and I remember thinking to myself, "This dude can really do a bodybuilding show if he wanted." But you are
Oh,
immersive.
wow. That's a compliment.
Yeah, so you're somewhere between a mesomorph and an ectomorph. Now,
Huh.
what happens? So at that stage, what's what's likely for you is it's going to be a bit harder for you to build muscles per
Mm.
se. But if you actually try harder, it'll be easier for you to get leaner. Someone like Jay Roach is closer to an endomorph than he is to
Okay.
an ectomorph. Now, the way I
Okay.
go about my diet is without counting calories, right? If you don't want to count, if you don't want to do any numbers,
Oh,
all
I
you have,
tried counting and I hate it.
yeah, all you have to do is think to yourself, when I'm home, I should be cooking what I eat when I'm home. When I go out, eat whatever you want, enjoy whatever you want. If you want a fried chicken, eat fried chicken. I have never a day in my life counted calories when I'm out. And people always see me when I'm out eating. They be like, how can you eat like this and still look like this? What they don't understand is I only eat like this when I'm out. But when I'm out, I do not restrict myself at all. I eat whatever
Oh,
my heart
wow.
desires. By doing that, when I'm able to eat whatever I love in the restaurants, when I get home, I don't really have the same cravings. It's when you deny yourself in the restaurants and get home, that's when you're more likely to be like, man, I want an ice cream. It's harder to stay disciplined when you're home when you're not feeding that.
You
Life is a
know,
balance,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So
Can I praise
if you,
something right quick though?
yeah, go ahead.
Like, just I'll let you finish that, but like that, what you just said is very important because in this day and age, the media that I consume and everybody else consumes about like counting calories versus not, and like of course balance.
Mm-hmm.
But you said something like, when you're out, you're out. You eat what you
Mm-hmm.
want, and that's
Yep.
it. Because you're not thinking to yourself, "Oh man, I can't have that pizza. I can't drink this thing
Yeah.
because my friends." Like,
Yeah.
we don't you don't hear that a lot on a lot of these fitness sort of bubbles. It's
No,
also
no,
like,
no,
be
you're not.
accountable. And you're walking proof to like, well, actually you can. It's just, of course, be accountable. Now, what were
Mm-hmm.
you saying about balance? I just had to praise that because you don't hear that a lot. You hear a lot
Yeah.
of brick wall, like count the
Yeah.
calories, only eat this,
Right.
check the
Mm-hmm.
menu. Like, it's a bunch of, it's nerve wracking.
Yeah. Yeah. What I mean by is life is about a balance because you want to attain your goals physically, but you also want to enjoy life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's trying to find that balance because for me, I don't know what I'll do if I'm not able to eat a cheeseburger anymore. I want to enjoy that.
Dude, like,
It's not good for the
like,
heart. It's not good for you, but I still,
if I can't
but
eat a baconator, what's the point?
yeah, but if I can't eat a baconator, then it's not good for my mental health because now I'm denying myself something that I truly
Right?
enjoy, you know? So,
Preach, man.
and the way to reach your goal while still being able to do that is that you eat when you're out, you enjoy what you eat. But when you're home, this is where you be like, okay, I'm home. I have to cook my own food. The problem is a lot of people will eat out, and then when they're home, they will call in. They'll call Uber Eats. They will
Mm,
order pizza. They'll call the Chinese food and bring home all this food.
yeah.
That's why a lot of times people be like, how is it that you're eating the way you eat outside, but I don't look like you? Well, that's because I eat the way you do outside, but I don't eat the way I do you do when I'm home. When I'm home,
Okay.
everything that I eat, I cook. I know what's in my food, you know. So that's how I stay disciplined. Now, it doesn't mean that I don't ever order pizza. I don't ever order Uber Eats. What I do is try to find. So, for example, this week, right? If I went out and ate 3 times, I'm not ordering nothing. But if I go the whole week without going out to eat, then yes, I can call something. I can call a Uber Eats. I can order something. The goal is
Okay.
not to do it, both sides. If you do that, I promise your body will change because by
So,
cooking
oh,
food, you would save money too.
well, and that's one thing I'm curious about because this is operating on the sense that you're not eating out every day. Because here's how I'm
Hmm.
thinking with somebody with listening or somebody just in their daily life is like, all right, I have food at home. I have rice, chicken, beans, whatever at home. I'm
Yeah,
gonna go run some errands real quick, and then
yeah,
I drive past McDonald's. And the
yeah.
inkling is like, let me go grab McDonald's, or not even McDonald's. Let's say it's like Chipotle or
Hmm.
Outback, something a little more protein heavy. Is it more in their benefit to just, you know what, ignore that and go home? Because when I think going out, I'm thinking going out with friends, for the specific
Right.
reason of grabbing lunch, not
Yeah,
I'm driving, I have errands to run, let me stop off and grab a ice cream. Are you saying more
yeah.
so only if your intention is to go out that night or that for lunch, that's when you eat, not so much I have an errand to run, let me go grab a snack while I'm out?
Okay. So I guess I should clarify by saying this. When for example, right, when I eat out, first of all, the frequency matters. You know what I'm saying? You can't eat out
Mm-hmm.
5, 6 times a week and be like, well, I cooked home once. You know what I'm saying? I tell myself this, right? I get two, I get 2 to 3 max of eating out, and that it could be me and friends going out.
Mm-hmm.
When I go to high quality restaurant, that's where I don't really look at whatever I eat. Now, if I go to McDonald's or something, yes, I'm not gonna get a soda, but I'm gonna get the burger and the fries, and I'm gonna get ranch.
Okay.
I'm gonna get all three. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna get soda. You know what I'm saying? Because this lower this fast foods, they're fast for a reason. There's a lot of chemicals. I
Hmm.
mean, not that they can't be in, Outback Steakhouse and nothing, but this food is just be more fresh. So
Yeah.
I limit myself to two or max three times max. So if I eat McDonald's once, that's one. If I call in pizza or Uber Eats, that's two. And then if I go out with friends, that's three. That's max. That's it.
That's it.
Next
Okay.
time I go out, if I see a Taco Bell, I'm still not stopping by. Another way I treat myself is I look at, so if I want Chick-fil-A or anything like that, I'm like, I could get this now. I could just wait till Friday and really, really go out into a restaurant and actually eat the way I
Yeah.
want. So I deny myself all the small restaurants because I'm waiting for that big prize, which is the Outback Steakhouse, where I can really eat,
Okay.
you know.
That's fair.
So it's like, yeah, it's like, okay, damn, I wanted an ice cream. Damn, I wanted Chick-fil-A. Damn. It's like, yeah, but if you had a choice between Chick-fil-A and Outback Steakhouse, which one would you choose? You'd probably
Uh
choose Outback, or you probably choose Red
yeah.
Lobster. Now the
Yeah, because
problem
if
is
I
a
get
lot of
some better
times,
stuff.
yeah, a lot of times people be like, yeah, but those places are more expensive. Yes, they're more expensive, but if you add up all the times you went to McDonald's and Chick-fil-A, they're almost the same now. Like fast foods ain't cheap no more.
No, it's very expensive. And then it's like
Yeah,
the quality of food is different too.
yeah,
Or
the
yeah,
quality of food.
the best thing
Yeah,
about Chick-fil-A is the service is fast. And yeah, but I
yeah,
mean there's
and their
better chicken
sandwiches are
out there, you know.
good.
What about
Yeah,
on Sunday? I mean to say yeah, on Sunday then you're out of luck.
yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah. So I try to, because it's not just also health. It's also like you gotta be smart with your money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it adds up, man.
If you're
Whew.
constantly eating out, it adds up. So I just rather just you know eat a little bit outside and then wait for that big prize, which is the red lobster or whatever it is. And then rest of my meals to stay on my fitness goal, I eat inside the house. And if
Okay.
for someone like you who doesn't want to count calories, the way you should go about trying to meet your macros, you're not gonna meet them if you're not counting calories, but you can get a good, like you can get close enough is by depending on how much if you're a very active person, roller skating, 5, 6 days a week, you want to be
Hmm.
eating somewhere around 40 to 45 grams of protein a meal. And the way you look at it is an average of around 6 ounces of meat. All you have to do is one or two times. If you put a 6 ounce chicken on your plate, you don't have to wait anymore. You just kind of have. My girl thinks she's every time I put rice in a bowl, in a plate, I'll be like, yeah, that's about 8 ounce. She'll be like, how do you know? Because I've done it before. Now I don't like I'm not measuring
yeah.
my food every day or something because I just know once you do it a couple times, you would just have an idea. It doesn't mean it has to be exactly 8 ounce. You just kind of get
Yeah.
an idea. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
fair.
yeah,
No, that's
and
fair.
and also I always eat in a way that, for example, like I'm Nigerian, so I eat my African food. So it's like, are you counting
Yeah.
calories? Are you counting calories for that? No, I'm not counting
I don't
calories for
know.
that. But the way I do it is I eat enough where I always tell myself I eat in a sense that I'm satisfied. If something were to happen, I can run right now, but I'm also not starving. That's how you gauge
That's true.
if
That's
yeah.
fair. Yeah.
If you're eating to the point where you're full, you're doing too much. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, overeating. I think one of the issues that I've always had is just candy. I'm a
Hmm.
and a certain type of candy. Only Whole Foods gummy bears is I'm bougie now,
Hmm.
so that's sort of my thing. And
Yeah.
Mike and Ike's from Five Below. Five Below is I don't know why
Yeah.
that was created. It's only been it's not helped me. But no, that's good advice. And I think especially, this is stuff that anybody can do. And I know
Hmm.
people are trying to like get into their winter phase, but I'm thinking
Yeah.
of it as my phase for the rest of my life because my family has a lot of heart issues, mental
Yeah.
issues, every other issue that can be, and I'm trying to
Yeah.
make it to, I mean, 45.
Yeah.
you know,
Past that, you don't want to wait till it's too late.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
no,
If
no,
you have if you have a problem with candy, what you can do is, so candy is sugars, right? They are fast acting
yeah,
uh, carbs. Fast acting carbs, if you don't make use of them, they store as fat. What you can do is, while eating your candy, You can just do quick pull-ups, move around, don't sit around. Let your body use some of that. It's not gonna use everything because a lot of calories in there, but it's gonna be
That's
good enough where instead of
bruh.
gaining 10 pounds of fat, now you've only gained 5 pounds.
Bro, you just hacked the system. I'm literally gonna have 3 gummy bears tomorrow, and I'm cranking out 5 pullets per gummy
Yeah,
bear, and I'll live the happiest
I'm
life,
all about the cheat codes to life, man. I don't.
dude.
I know all the shortcuts. Plus, this is what I studied in college.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Like again, that's
yeah,
yeah, you went to ODU. Congrats on that.
yeah, yeah.
Eh,
Thank
and I'm so happy and blessed to still know you, but also, you've always been motivating. Like watching you just sort of like, when I first met you, weren't like, you weren't skinny, penciled in, but like just
Yeah,
watching
yeah,
you just consistently like this dude's about it. Like this isn't
yeah,
for show. And if I
yeah.
wish, not I wish, but I'm glad that I know you as a real person, because if I had just
Right.
only known you through social media, I'd have been like, what's he on?
Yeah,
People
yeah.
always ask me,
A lot of people ask me that. They say, "What are you on? What do you take?" For the longest, people don't believe that.
water?
Yeah, yeah. I just tell them like, it's consistency, and
Man,
sometimes,
I'm Nigerian, baby.
yeah,
God's
sometimes
chosen. What do you mean?
people see me on social media, but they just now see me. They don't know that I've been doing this like
For a
forever.
long
You know
time.
what I'm saying? Yeah, man. But like when you say that your family has this health and you want to prevent it, dude, as a life insurance agent, I did life insurance. I went to write people policies, and there are so many people in their 40s and 50s on so many medications, things that could have easily be prevented just by simply walking like 30 minutes a day.
Yeah.
But now their insurance is more expensive, so they're paying more, and they're on medical prescribed pills. So now the medical bills is higher, and God
Mm.
forbid if they die, if they don't have enough policy to cover their bills, now they're leaving their children early and also leaving them with debt. It's crazy how just a simple walking on treadmill or simple gym sessions can literally help your life.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
it's people just don't think about this stuff, and I try to help out. That's why my goal is to show people the easiest way to do this, rather than tell you, "Oh, you gotta eat this," because that's just discouraging. You know,
Yeah,
like,
it
what
really
you
is.
mean I gotta count all my calories? What you mean I gotta do this? I'm gonna show you an easier way. That way you don't, because sometimes a lot of this fitness influencer, they don't want to tell you the easy way because they don't want you to think how they look is easily attainable, because then it's like, Dan, you're not gonna give me the credit because you're gonna think like, oh, I can easily do this. So sometimes people hold back, and sometimes some people just look the way they look. They don't know. They have no idea. They don't know nothing about fitness really. They just
Yeah.
lucked out. Like
Yeah.
me being one, I have an extremely active lifestyle, but there's also a big part of genetics. You know what I'm saying? I come from Nigeria. When I was a kid, we used to have to go down the street, carry gallons of water to shower, carry gallons of water to eat, just to make food, and then we walk like miles to
Yeah.
school. So
There were no
my
segways or electric bikes.
yeah, there was no segue. So my muscles and all this stuff has already been literally programmed, trained as a kid. I was telling years ago, right? I was telling my cousin, I was telling somebody, I had posted something on Instagram, and I was like, I started training weightlifting in high school, but really I've been an athlete my whole life. My cousin was like, yeah, because we've been carrying gallons of water since we were kids up and down the streets, and
Right?
I was like, yeah, that's true.
We're
You
literally doing the
know,
Rocky Four train and just chopping
yeah,
wood and
yeah.
logs and
So
stuff.
yeah, so even if my kids don't have that lifestyle, they're gonna get from this genetics, and these are some things that is just not fair in life. Where some people are just
Yeah.
mesomorph, some people are
Hmm.
endomorph. So some people are more likely to gain weight, and some people are less likely to gain weight. You know what I'm saying? But the
Mm.
heart, though, the heart doesn't lie. Regardless of what shape you look on the outside, if you're not taking health serious, your heart will literally tell the truth.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that autopsy table. Like, yeah, that's
yeah,
Funyuns and
yeah.
yeah, he ate a carrot or two.
I have seen skinny people with high cholesterol, with heart diseases, and you would never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hope they don't find, they find that on mine. I mean, like, other than like,
You'd be
fitness and
good,
all
man.
this other stuff, like, what other what other things like keeps you like sane essentially? Because yeah, you're preparing for a competition, of
Yeah.
course, besides work, so that's taking up all your time. But what
Hmm.
else is happening where you can just like, and I'm not thinking about fitness, I'm not thinking about my clients, I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just chilling. Like, what's that for you these days?
So tech, I'll be
Yeah.
honest. I have a, I have a pretty good way or decent way of switching completely from. I don't think about fitness when I don't want to think about fitness. Um,
Yeah.
it just doesn't cross my mind. I'm just doing something else. I forget. I'm even. I mean, when it's time when I get hungry, that's when I'm like, okay, I can't have
I
pizza
guess I
now.
gotta. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
but other than that, I just focus on tech. I rarely get bored, like rarely, because I'm always
Yeah,
doing.
you've never been somebody who's been bored. Like,
Yeah,
every time we've ever hung out, every time we've ever chatted, just even first meeting, I'm like, this guy's got
yeah,
energy. I'm with that.
yeah. I just have something I can just always do. So right now, obviously tech, reviewing tech, watching tech videos, just I got a drone now that I'm doing reviewing just YouTube stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm doing
Yeah.
right now. That I'm not focusing on bodybuilding. But once I leave this office and go to the gym, now I'm not even thinking tech. I'm just thinking straight up competition,
That's
competition.
awesome, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
You
And
said you
then
were
when I'm
traveling. You were in Bali recently,
yeah,
or
that
how long
was in
ago?
so every December, every Christmas we try to go somewhere. My girl and I. The year
Yeah.
before, so last year we went to Bali. The year before we went to Mexico, and then before I went to DR. But Bali was great. Yeah, Bali was great.
That's because it's funny that came up like a couple weeks ago in my household because we just came back from Mexico ourselves for it was
Okay.
a couples only resort.
Hmm.
Awesome place. And
Yeah,
then we were in
yeah,
DR
I
the
love
year
it.
before. Where'd you go in Mexico?
We went to Cancun.
Was it like a certain resort or y'all just stayed in a hotel? You stayed in
No,
town? Like, what did you do?
we stayed in a we stayed in an Airbnb.
Okay.
It was nice. All the houses they got solar panels, but it was like it's kind of like it's almost like in the middle of the forest or something. Like
Yeah.
they're driving there because we were in a car, it was just a bunch of potholes and stuff, and I was just like,
Yeah.
bro, it is dark out here. But once you get inside the Airbnb, it's gated,
Yeah.
and you get nothing but nature, and you can
Yeah.
smell this nature. So it wasn't like in the middle of the city or anything. So there was literally all the houses were just powered by solar, but it was so
That sounds
relaxing.
cool.
Yeah, it was so
That sounds good.
the driving was terrible because just potholes and yeah. But
Well, it's
other
interesting
than
because
that,
you're outside the city, you're going to find that because Cancun is
Mhm.
the tourist
Yeah,
destination.
yeah, yeah. But I really love it. My girl was just telling me last week. She was like, we gotta get back to Mexico." I was like, "Yeah, after we go to Europe, because I just want to go to different as many places as I can."
Yeah. Where's
Yeah, I
your
would
top place in Europe you want to go to?
right now Spain and Italy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Spain and Italy. You
yeah.
could do. You probably ought to do that in one big trip.
I would like to visit Greece as well. Really,
Hmm.
what I want to do is make like go there, just travel to many different countries. But I'm not really sure how that would be because I would have to apply for different visas to to different countries. I really don't know how it would be, but I just know that it's easier down there.
Well, my aunt and uncle just went on a month-long trip
Hmm.
through Europe, like Germany and a bunch of other places. Going from
Yeah.
country to country there, it's kind of like a train.
It- yeah.
They check,
Hmm.
of course, some check your passport, but it's just kind of
Yeah.
an easier trip. The hardest part, they said, is coming from the States to these other countries. It really
Yeah.
just depends. There
Yeah.
are companies where you just sign up with a group and it's like vetted, not nothing like that movie, nothing
Yeah.
nefarious, but
Hmm.
and you just go with them and you just travel with the whole group and it just makes it easier. If I can find it, I'll send it to you. But
Sounds good. Sounds good. When I was in DR a couple years ago, they tried to sign up for us up for
oh yeah.
something. But I was just like, nah, I don't want
Nah,
to.
nah, 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 nah,
Yeah,
nah. I ain't got time for that. Nah, I'm with you,
yeah.
man.
I'm here to
God bless
enjoy. I
them.
don't want to think about all this. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I'm not trying to. Don't sell me on the next trip. I'm here now.
yeah, yeah.
Nah, nah, dude. Nah, you're. That's one thing about traveling overseas, or just overseas, just out of the country.
Yeah.
It's such a blessing to do so. My thing is, I
Hmm.
hate long flights. So like when
I
I
do
think about
too.
going to Japan and all that, I'm just like, God, what am I
Mhm.
gonna do on this plane? Because I don't sleep like
Yeah,
that. So like
yeah.
I'm up for like 15 hours and then
Dude,
what?
dude. When we went to Bali, my girl had like three different sleep sessions, and I was still awake.
Dude, I
um,
swear.
so what I have is this right here. Look at this. I don't know if you've ever seen something like this.
Let me see.
This is an AR glasses.
Oh, hold on. It's a little blurry. I think my it got a little blurry on on the
Okay,
camera. Hopefully when it's all done it crisps out. But
I'll
okay.
send you. I'll
So
send you a picture. So it's an AR glasses. You put it on and you can watch movies and stuff like that. I use this in all my trips. Now, this is part of the company. This is part of what I do as a tech person, right? This company, they send me products and I review them for free. As a matter of
mhm.
fact, I just did a thing with them recently where I signed like NDA and they send me this product like way before it comes out and I get to like test them out, and we have this group where we test them out and we give them review or feedbacks and we tell them what we think should be improved or changed, and then like months later or I forget later they release it to the public, which is great because it feels bigger than me because it feels like, man, what everyone else is seeing I've seen it like months ago.
Yeah.
I just don't, my channel is just not that big enough where people know about me, but and then because you sign an NDA, you can't disclose any of
You
this
can't talk
stuff.
about it. No,
You can't
I feel
really
the
talk
same
about
way.
it.
I do like some surveys from time to time, and it's like, how do you
Yeah.
feel about this video game or this thing? You're like, it's cool, but like you can't talk about it until it officially comes out. And by the time it comes out, you're like, I forgot all about that thing. Nah,
Yeah,
that's cool,
but
dude.
that's what I use when I'm on those long trips. I just watch movies on this and everything. It's an incredible experience.
I'm picturing like on those things you're watching, like Avatar on the long flight, like you
Hmm.
choose the longest movies you can, and just
Yeah,
like,
so what I do is I download a bunch of movies for offline and I watch movies on it while I'm on the flight. You can also play games, but I'm not really into mobile games and stuff or any of
oh
those.
really?
But
Oh, I'm a mobile
yeah,
game person. I'm always on the flights. I'm just playing mobile
so
games like
I
Bit
try
Life
to
and stuff.
be. I try to be. I even have a controller, a mobile controller. I bought like all this stuff because I wanted to be a mobile game person, especially doing YouTube. People always ask me, "Will this thing work with this game? Will this work?" And I really wanted to be so bad,
Like I
but
don't know.
I'm just, I can't sit down. I can't
Yeah,
sit down. I just I did download Call of Duty. So Call of Duty is a game that I will play every now and then. Mobile Call of Duty.
yeah,
Do you play Call
yeah,
of Duty
yeah.
mobile? Oh shit, I'm gonna
I
have to
play.
add you.
Yeah, like I play Call of Duty Mobile, PUBG. Like I switch from back and forth, but mobile is
Okay.
mostly Call of Duty, and like I play a game called Bit Life. It's like a mini
Okay.
version of like a Sims like game, but
Hmm.
easier to play. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's you're not a sit down person, so I can't. Yeah, it's hard for you to sit down and just zone out for a couple hours.
Yeah, so even on those flights, I'm just constantly getting up and yeah. But I think that if you what you do is, for example, going to Bali, right? It's a very very long flight. What you got to do
Yeah,
is you got to book your flights in a way that you have stops, and you have stops in interesting places. So, for example, I want to take my girl somewhere. I'm not gonna say just in case she can hear me as a surprise, but I'm looking at where we're gonna stop at. And I'm gonna see how long because I can't do no long, super long flights. But that place that we can stop. It has to be interesting. So, for example, when we went to Bali, right, we stopped at this airport, and it's been voted the number one airport in the world. There is so much to
hmm
this airport. It's the airport in, I think it's in Kuwait or something like that. No, Qatar. Is it
Oh
Qatar? Oh, I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
guitar.
that,
Yeah,
that airport is incredible. It's got everything from massage parlor to like skiing and everything. So imagine you're flying to Bali or to some long destination and you stop right there. It's like a mini vacation.
Yeah.
They even have a hotel in there.
So I would
Like
literally just
it's
fly to the Qatar. I don't need to step outside if I could do all that there.
no, well, I mean, it's your layover, right? So
Yeah.
you can't really go outside the airport because then you would have to apply for visa and all that stuff to step
Yeah,
outside
that's
it.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's in another country. But the airport alone, it almost feels like being in a resort. Like it's incredible. It's an incredible
Wow.
experience. The only thing you don't
Wow.
get is just that skies and the beach of a resort. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's an incredible experience. So that's why I try to pick interesting layovers. So for example, if your flight is 17 hours. Don't try to do the
Oof.
whole 17 hours. Yeah. Just try to do like maybe 7 hours and then take a
Dude.
layover that's like an hour or two and then, connect and fly. Or you can have like a 4 hour layover, whatever it is in between. And your flight is going to be cheaper too. But you're also
Yeah.
going to have a break. Also going to have a break from that jet lag. And yeah.
Man, I'm a
Yeah.
cranky. Look, I'm a nice flyer. I'm a considerate
Hmm.
passenger. I'm stay to
Yeah.
myself. I'm quiet. I always try to get the window seat because I don't use the restroom. Like I
Yeah.
lock it down. But like I don't even like long car rides. When you said 17 hours,
Yeah.
I literally just shut down internally. I'm like, do I even
Yeah.
want to go to this place?
Yeah, I know.
Like
I know.
3 hours on a plane, I'm just like, what? Where do we? I don't even. On some planes you can click and see where you are. It pisses me off
Yeah.
every time I click on it. I'm like, I'm still in over Kentucky. Like, get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, oh my God, what am I gonna do for this many hours?
I literally said that if going to Europe or any other country, I've looked up cargo ship travel. Just as like, look, I
Yeah.
will take 2 weeks. You get your own room. You get your
Hmm.
own room. You get to eat with the crew. I said I would do that. I
Yeah.
would take 2 weeks to go to a place that takes 12 hours just because I hate long flights so much, and then I get to walk around. Like I'm nuts
Yeah.
like that. I would literally do that. I think that'd be a fun. That's
Yeah.
where you should take her. Go on a cargo ship passenger trip to
Nah,
eat with the
cruise.
sailors.
Cruise is
Not
where
even
it's
a
at though.
cruise. Not even a
Yeah.
cruise. Just like you're
Oh
on an
man.
oil tank. You're on a tanker.
Oh man. Yeah. Sheesh. But real quick though, what you been up to, man? I like that. I like that you
Me?
started this, man. Yeah,
Oh
I like
yeah,
my friends do something that is interesting, something that is a little bit uncomfortable, but also
yeah.
interesting, something that it's like you're chasing something rather than just existing. But what you been up
Well,
to now?
I mean, for me, it was this. Like, I mean, after because I went to school for creative arts and entertainment business specifically. Besides working on trying to work with, not try working on short films, but I got the idea when I was skating. Because I've heard this my
Yeah,
entire life. Like, oh, you should be on a show. You should do this. You do that. It says you know everyone has said that to me, and you don't really believe it. And then I don't know. It's like when you wake up from the Matrix or whatever, and you're just kind of like, and I just give it a shot. And
yeah,
I don't care about like not copying people because it's nothing new under the sun. There's a
no,
thousand talk shows, 1,000 podcasts. But then I said, what's something interesting? What if I just try, have a goal, talk to everybody that follows me on social media and all the social media accounts, everything, and just chat with them and just see where it goes. And
hmm,
then like I will have 10 episodes talking to you over and over again. I don't care. Um,
yeah,
because it's just interesting to me. And I
yeah,
talk for a living to people about their things they're going through and academically and in life. So I'm just like,
yeah,
well, let me just do it on my off time. But I mean, as
yeah.
far
That's
as
good.
life in general, just living, having fun. They said
Yeah,
married, cats, Florida,
kids.
skating. No, 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 not yet. No, no. I would like some one day, but every time I
Hmm.
see my strangers, even friends with kids, every moment I'm reminded, like, man, I could do whatever I want today and not have to worry about feeding this
Right,
creature.
right. What about the wifey
Making
then?
sure they make. Hmm.
The wifey, does she want kids now yet or no? Or she
Oh,
just
I mean,
whatever?
we're talking. I mean, it's one of those things we're just trying to. it's trying to find there's never a right time, of course, but
right time,
we're
but
just
close
enjoying.
enough.
We're just in, yeah. We're not against it, but it's like we're not going to actively try, but we're not actively going to slip up, and there's no accident, quote unquote,
Right.
as babies here, right? It doesn't
Yeah.
just. It's one of those. It's just like, okay, when we're ready, I want to make sure we're in a bigger home for space, but right now, it's
Hmm.
like these cats are enough. It sounds cliche, and I never thought I'd be a cat dad, but it is what it is.
Right.
I love them,
Yeah.
and there was street. It was
Hmm.
a street cat too, so I really care. I didn't take some cat, you know. I took a cat off the
Right.
streets. That's how much I care.
Hmm.
But what else? I mean, that's about it. I mean, honestly, just loving life as best I can.
That's good, man.
I moved to Florida after Virginia because I just wanted to change and I didn't want to shovel snow anymore. And I'm still here in
Right.
this crazy
Right.
state with these kooky people. But I'm
Yeah.
kooky too, so it's fine.
I thought about if I did move, it was gonna be Florida or Texas. But I don't know with the kind of weather in
Look,
Texas. I mean, it's also
look,
crazy in Florida too, but I think the parts
it
depending on the part.
it's not bad. No, I mean Texas is also on a potential move location for us too. Like I will
Hmm.
live anywhere as long as I enjoy the area. And honestly, I grew up thinking everybody was nuts and everybody wants me dead because of my skin color. So like I have no qualms about where I live because that's just how I was
Right.
conditioned to, like,
Hmm.
enemies all around you. So it's kind of like, if it's a good weather, good people, I can meet people anywhere. Like I'm not
Right.
scared of that. Price
Hmm.
wise is more what I'm, now that I'm in my 30s, I'm thinking about, can I make the mortgage? How's the mortgage? What's the interest rates? Like I'm
Right.
thinking on those
Hmm.
levels now. But no, for me, it's just living life, reconnecting with, new friends, old friends like you, just trying to be more active. And, I often think, like, if I started social media in the Navy, I started thinking, I'm curious where I'd be now because I don't take it seriously and I never have. And I can see why
Yeah.
people do. It can be a powerful
Hmm.
tool. And it's just like
Right.
anything, it's just a tool. But it was one of the reasons why I started posting my skating videos. I'm like, well, everyone else is doing it, and why not? I'm not afraid to look weird or dumb. Like,
Right.
it's this age of internet. I can do anything and be anybody.
That's why I said you
Um,
got to get that camera because what you do
oh
when I
man,
see when I see people roller skate using those cameras, I'm like, I'm just invested in that. The
say,
angles,
oh
it
god, I
looks
gotta
like
get it.
the way you guys move left to right. It just looks
Yeah,
so effortlessly. It looks so cool. But I already tried skating. I ain't doing it. It's not my thing.
dude,
But it just
like,
get invested in it, but I also get invested in it because I'm just seeing all these angles. I'm like, okay, I'm seeing the way to move your
I,
feet and all that
I
stuff.
will. I'll
You
get
know?
that. I will.
Yeah,
I'll do that
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's. I mean, it's inspiring, especially when you meet these people, when you meet them in real life, like I have. Like, and they chat with
yeah.
you, and then you see some of these
Hmm.
skaters with the the blue check marks, like the act. They
Yeah.
earned it, quote
Hmm.
unquote. Which I
Yeah,
don't care either way how you got it. And they
yeah,
message you and pump you up, and it's like, yeah, like it's. I've always wanted to learn, and I'm glad I learned it now. It's an awesome
yeah,
community. It's just one of those things. It's like I never thought I'd be doing it, but also I'm not afraid to look dumb on it. Like I'm not afraid to show myself trying because every skater I know, they've been doing it for 15, 20 years. Like you've been
yeah.
working out your entire
Hmm.
life
Yeah,
and it doesn't just happen. It looks effortless, but what do they say? It only looks
yeah,
effortless because you didn't see the stumbles
yeah.
and the falls.
That's
Um,
why I say you should record your falls because sometimes for some people wanting to like they like the idea of something but it just looks too difficult. Sometimes people want to lift
oh
with me, but
yeah.
they're just like, man, you're just so strong. I'm like, you should see how many times I fail. Like, it's not every
Yeah.
time I can get a PR. So by posting your journey, people are following, and you're more like them. But then they can watch you become good at it. It's gonna be so inspiring. You're gonna see people buying skate boots. Some of them never gonna use it,
Dude.
but people are gonna buy it and be
Yeah.
like, "Yo, because of you, I started this. Because of you, I wanted to do this." Yeah, it's one
Well,
of
I
those
say the same
things.
thing when I see your gym. I think it's your home gym. I was like, now that's the kind of
Yeah,
setup I would, because like the time and effort you took to do that. And it's like he doesn't need a gym
Yeah.
membership. He has everything there, but like
I don't have a
it
gym
looks
membership.
perfect. It's perfect. I was just like, that is goals in such an honest way. Cause yeah, I remember him going to Rockwell and going to ODU
I
gym, and
know.
now he's just like, I got all of it right here. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's pretty
Literally, I can
dope.
just walk.
You
Yeah,
know,
go
and
out in
like
there
the
right
way
now.
you're consistently working, it's inspiring too.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, man.
Not
But
very
speaking of
inspiring.
your
No,
show,
yeah.
I like that you do. I don't know how often you plan on doing it, but like just talking to the camera, like the MCU thing. I don't know if you saw it, but the last time I saw it, it was doing pretty well, like on YouTube.
I I was looking
The
at it a
views
bit.
going up.
They're going up, and it's like I'm learning about more, because I learned about analytics, of course, in school and whatever.
Yeah,
But now that I'm in practice, I'm just trying different stuff out, and I really was like, okay, people, Nico likes to talk, So I was like, okay, well,
yeah,
let me do a solo video and let me talk about the one thing, not the one thing, but one of the things I'm interested in lately. And I was kind of not punishing myself or criticizing myself, but I
yeah,
realized, okay, maybe my thoughts should slow down a little more, because I was rewatching it, and I was really going off the cuff, and there was so much I wanted to say that I didn't even say in there, and I'm like, I should have mentioned
yeah.
that, I should have mentioned this, I should have slowed
Do you
down
have a
here.
script? Do you use
No,
scripts?
that one was just, I literally was just whatever came to my head. I said it
Yeah,
because I thought about it. I was like, I could write bullet points down. I may do that
yeah.
for
I'll just
something
like
else.
just keep points, key points.
Yeah,
Just like Superman or whatever. You know, I do
yeah.
like it
Because I
though,
realized
and
I
I
was.
see
Thank you.
yeah, I see that a lot of people tune in, and one of the things that I notice is that when it comes to like comics and stuff like that, they have a massive following. They have like every
Oh, it's
time I see,
huge.
and the thing is, I'm not even into comics, but somehow I'm always invested because
Yeah,
the reason I'm always invested is because, so for one, Superman is my favorite hero. So when I see
he
someone talking
is.
about another, yeah, yes, massive fan of
Oh, dude.
Superman. So
Okay, I'll let you
when I
finish your
see
thought, but like that's amazing to hear.
yeah, when I see people talk about some superhero, even though I'm not a comic guy, I just want to hear to see if he's better than Superman or what makes him so good. That's all I care to hear about.
Th-
So I'm
Dude, that is so
listening,
good.
I'm just listening to see what they're gonna say about this superhero. So you don't necessarily have to think like, yo, my audience has to be into this. Sometimes they just curious on what does this guy think about it. You know what I'm
Want to hear your
saying?
thoughts,
Like, yeah, they
and
want to
that's
hear
why
your
I did
thoughts.
it,
Like,
because I've
okay,
always wanted to rank them.
yeah, I think you should keep doing that for sure. For sure. I like that.
I think I
Yeah.
will. You know what? I may do another one tomorrow morning, because like it's one of those things of I've had these thoughts my whole life, and I even mentioned in video,
Hmm.
like going to boot camp. I watched Iron Man 2, and just in boot
Hmm.
camp, it was really sustaining it was what's in my head. Like, man, I can't wait to see what they do next. That's all I kept thinking about while we
Yeah.
were going through that. But I will
Yeah.
take your advice on writing down bullet points. I was just going off the top of the head what my
Yeah.
thoughts
I
were in
mean,
that very moment, and it's
yeah.
interesting because I honestly, I couldn't remember half the stuff that happened in all those movies. And then
Yeah.
looking at it like in the chart, you're like, God, they did so much. Like, how can I keep all this
Yeah.
in my head?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So we YouTube, right? I have this little whiteboard that I made, and this is where I write all my bullet points. You see that?
oh, okay. Yeah.
So I just write like key points, and I just put it, and I look at my camera, which I'm not using. This is I don't know, my webcam, but I use my actual camera and I just look at it to the side. I'm like, all right, I got to talk about this because what I find is when I don't write stuff down, my videos tend to be longer, and then I don't cover as much because I can talk
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. I
So
know.
I don't
That's why we
cover.
always thought we just chatted. Like,
Yeah, yeah. So
I'm going
that
to do
might be a
that.
good idea.
Well, this actually
Yeah,
gave me a good idea too, because like you mentioned, all right, let me ask you this. I don't know how much time you have, but nah, I don't want to take up all your whole evening. You said you're going to work out after this, right? Or no? I don't even.
yeah. I'm gonna work out.
Okay. I just want to ask. You
Yeah,
said Superman's your favorite. Why is he your
yeah.
favorite?
It's my favorite because strength wise, it's just he's like up there, but he's just humble.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of those people that, as far as superhero goes, you look at, it doesn't seem like a threat. But if Superman was bad, just think about how much damage it could really cause. But
Yeah.
because he's good, people don't see that what it's really capable of. So he uses
Mm-hmm.
his good just for, I mean, he uses his strength and everything just for good. But it's like this guy is so capable. You think Lex Luthor, you think Hulk, and you think all these people are bad. I mean, that you think these people can be bad. I mean, Hulk is not bad, but you think like when you think of like in a superhero, you think monsters. You're thinking like just some of the craziest. But what you don't really think about is how much dangerous Superman can really be if he was bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the way. That's just part of the reasons why I like him, and I like that being able to fly and all that stuff.
No, it seems. I mean, he's dope power set. You see why a lot of these, because they've done the evil Superman stuff a lot, but even these other shows that
Yeah,
have these Superman like characters that are evil, and it's kind of
yeah,
timeless because I mean, Superman is like the first quote unquote superhero, but nah,
yeah,
he's besides Spider Man, he's my number two. But they fluctuate all the time. And
yeah,
nah, it's always funny when I hear somebody say, not funny, but like also when I hear somebody say Superman's their favorite because I
yeah.
heard this, I don't know who said this quote, but the way I think of Superman is he was raised by Earthlings. He's essentially a human. He was raised as a human
Hmm.
being with good values,
Yeah,
and he's a dude who just so happens to also be Superman. Now, there's different ways to interpret that. Like he's Superman, but then
yeah.
he puts on Clark Kent the mask. Clark Kent is the mask when
Hmm.
he's like out in town, but when he's at home on the farm or in his apartment or just hanging with his family, he's like a regular
Yeah,
dude because he was raised as a
yeah.
regular
You
dude.
you yeah, you forget that this guy is an alien. You know.
Yeah, he's an alien, but he was just raised as like yeah, like a
Hmm.
regular a person on this, lived on a
Yeah,
farm. He had chores. He
yeah, and
he
that's what I
had these
mean by
things.
yeah. That's why I guess that's kind of what I meant by being humble. Is that it's just so
Oh
regular. It's
yeah, I
so
got you.
yeah, it's just a person. But it's a person that
Like
is very capable.
I saw this comic book panel one day, and it was like Superman like eating sandwiches or something with I think homeless people on the like that was the sort of the image. It was him just sitting down,
Mhm.
chill, having. It was a comic about him doing different activities, from fighting
Yeah,
monsters to doing this to doing that. Like he can get
yeah.
angry, he can yell like a normal person
Hmm.
would. But I just saw the image of him just chatting with these guys who live on the street, and I'm like, that's
Yeah,
kind of what Superman is. He's everybody. He's like
yeah.
who we all would want to be, and
He
he's not from
embodies
here.
human. Yeah,
Yeah, the
I've
best of
I've literally
humankind.
I've watched all the Superman shows. Like I'm talking about like the
Hmm.
Smallville, the
Oh
Superman
yeah,
Lewis.
man.
I've watched every single thing. The only thing I never got involved with is the reading comics, but that's because growing up in Nigeria, you don't have
Yeah.
access to comics or anything like that. So I never really. So when I hear about stories of the comics of what Superman did or what Spider Man did in multiverse or whatever it is, I'm just like, oh, I had no
You're
idea.
in it.
But
That's
you
cool.
know, yeah.
Nah, man.
So
Like
I
I'm glad to
I
hear
do
that.
remember you and Jay talking about Spider Man, and I remember Spider Man is your favorite character. Uh,
Yeah.
I do like
I
Spider Man.
I I
I really
appreciate
like
that.
Spider Man. Yeah, I like Spider Man because one of the scenes in Avengers just reminded me of why I really like Superman. I mean, why I really like Spider Man. The scene where Winter Soldier, I think that's what it was called, where that guy with a steel arm tries to
Oh
punch him and he
yeah.
holds it.
Bucky.
That
Yeah.
scene, yeah, okay, that scene just reminds me so much of reasons why I like Spider Man. You look at him, you say, "Oh, he's a kid. Oh, he's a small guy." But he's a small guy with a lot of power,
God.
and he just
Yeah.
holds. He holds it and he looks at it. But then that kid comes out, it's like, he has metal arms or something like that. But then you
Yeah.
just like, how is this guy so strong? That's the reason why I like Spider Man because he's just so capable, but he just looks
He
non-threatening.
chooses
Like,
he
yeah,
pulls his punches. And you know what's
yeah,
interesting? I'm glad you said that because I think about that scene a lot too. just because
Yeah.
of the visual storytelling of it. Because the Winter Soldier, who you're referring to, for the
Mm-hmm.
two movies we've seen him, no one can stop his punches. Captain
Yeah.
America has a tough time. We've seen him kill. We've seen him do all this, and then the first
Yeah.
time he gets punched, like it happens so quick, he just catches it,
Yeah.
and Spidey's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's a metal arm, cool, man." And then
Yeah.
even Bucky's like,
Yeah.
"What the hell?
Yeah.
Like,
But
who's this
it's
guy?
like
Who
he's
is this
so
guy?"
like he wasn't even afraid or anything. He just holds it like somebody just catches the apple. Like, oh, it's an
Yeah,
apple. You know.
that's why
And
Spider-Man,
Spider-Man is
Superman
trying to
interesting
get
because they
be
pull their
serious.
punches.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's like, why do they struggle with villains? Well, because they're not trying to kill them. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they're like
Yeah.
trained boxers. You have to know how to pull your
As
punches.
a matter of fact, no, no. I thought I did, but no. I was about to say I watched this like series on Spider-Man long time, but no, that was the Flash that I watched on. But never mind.
Oh, I used to
Because
watch the
I
Flash too, but that show pissed
yeah.
me off because I'm like, the Flash, he can run through time. He's super faster than light. But when a villain like
But
leaves a
sometimes
building, he can't find them.
yeah, but I was about to be like, sometimes it doesn't make sense. Like, how do you have so much power, but you don't? Sometimes you don't even know how to use them. Like, you just don't even know what. Yeah, it's just what I'm gonna get
No,
into
it's
that.
true. How
Yeah,
can you be the fastest thing alive and still get punched in the face?
yeah, I
It
know,
makes no sense.
Like, where are your reflexes, bro? Like, come on now. Yeah.
Uh, no, you're right on the money there, dude. Like
Hmm.
that's why the comic book stuff, like you kind of have to just and almost turn your brain off,
Yeah.
um, because like if you start thinking about it, now doesn't mean you don't want to pay attention
You're
to good
not supposed to think
storytelling,
about it
but
logically. Yeah, you're not supposed to think about it logically. You're supposed to just
no,
enjoy.
that's what a lot of things. That's how I think about social media. Like I'm not thinking about this logically. Like it's all
Yeah.
smoke and mirrors. Don't think about it. Um,
Hmm.
you mentioned Superman. I think I haven't seen this yet, but they have that new documentary coming out where it talks about Christopher Reeve, the original Superman in the movies,
Hmm.
and it's like done
Yeah.
by his like family and stuff like that. It looks super emotional, but like I think you should catch that, because you grew up watching those movies. I think that'll be a nice
Hmm.
movie to watch. Especially knowing
Yeah.
about his story of him,
Hmm.
being paralyzed. So
Yeah. I would definitely catch it.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Like I have Man of Steel is one of my favorite movies, but I know that a lot of people don't like it because I've seen the critics, but I don't
Oh yeah,
care.
yeah, yeah. I like
I've
Man of
watched
Steel.
it
I just don't like
four
the other ones. That's
times.
all.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
Yeah.
another video I should do. But God, I probably it's a dead horse. I liked Man of Steel. I just didn't like the other
Yeah.
movies that the sequels and stuff like that. Um,
Yeah.
that's my only thing.
With the
It was
Justice
cool.
League.
Justice League,
Yeah.
Batman versus Superman. I didn't like those, but I liked Man of Steel. I didn't like Man of Steel's ending.
Yeah.
Actually, I flip flop, but over and all, like he's snapping necks and cashing checks. I
Mm.
mean, Superman doesn't like to kill. He doesn't kill, but he can kill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Superheroes killing
He would
doesn't
do it
bother
if he
me.
has to. If he has to. Huh?
If he has to, he's not
Hmm.
Batman. He's like superheroes killing. I'm kind of like if they can, they should. It's like Batman never killing the Joker, and I think well, if a police officer killed the Joker, would Batman look down on him, or if like a special forces soldier shot the Joker, like
Hmm.
you should do it. Like he should be killed. But yeah, I don't. I didn't mind that
I
Superman
mean,
killed him.
to be fair, in the Batman movie series, not the cartoon
Hmm.
or the comics or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
Batman did try. It tried. It's
yeah,
just that it just somehow keeps getting away.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I feel like yeah, he also had opportunities because I mean, come on
Plenty.
now. If you really wanted to
I
kill
mean,
him, you
you're gonna kill him. Like it's all right.
yeah,
Don't worry. No one's gonna look bad. No one's gonna be like, "How dare you?" They're
yeah,
like, "Hey, thank you for killing that murderous clown. Thank you."
yeah,
Now you can go
you
up
know,
beating up poor people again.
yeah. But I guess yeah, this is why I said you can't think too logically.
No, gosh, no.
Yeah,
Because in comic books, 1+1 does not equal two. It's just like,
yeah,
well, these people have
yeah.
secret identities. They
Hmm.
wear tights that never get destroyed. It doesn't matter. Just watch it and have some fun.
Yeah,
But I'll definitely do more videos like that. I appreciate the compliment like that.
yeah,
And definitely more
yeah.
conversations like this, like of course we'll talk offline, but this was
Hmm.
just an honor for you to chat with me like this and test it out.
Yes,
Like
sir.
every day we're getting better.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, that's the goal, man. You know, getting better and enjoy what you do.
Heck
You
yeah,
know,
dude.
just something that you didn't even think you would do in your 20s. Now you know doing it.
Yeah,
And think about it, man. Your channel could grow to a point where this becomes your full time job.
it could. I mean,
Yeah,
and I'm not
and
opposed to it. I'm not opposed to
yeah,
letting Uncle Sam take a little some of these tax money out. Get on that. Was
yeah.
it a
I
W
mean,
four or what is
it,
it? Independent contractor?
uh, so since I've been doing this, it's like a passive income. Although I didn't start this as a passive income, I just did it
No.
because there were type of reviews that I wanted to see specifically, and I wasn't seeing in tutorials. So I started doing it, and the next thing you know, my channel got to a point where now YouTube is sending me checks every month. But on top
Heck
of
yeah,
that,
man.
the interesting part is most of my money is not actually not coming from YouTube. It's coming from my links that I put on YouTube. So I have an Amazon Associate account. And with Amazon Associates, anything I recommend when I give people my link, when they buy, I get a small commission. It does not increase the price. It just Amazon just gives you money for sending them. So I put my links in the YouTube. So whenever I make a video and I upload it, people watch and it was like, I didn't even know I needed this, or I kind of want this. When they click those links to buy stuff, I get a check. First time when I tell you that when I started this channel, I had no intentions of making money or anything. As a matter of fact, my first few checks, I ignored them because I thought they were a scam. I got a $500 gift card from, because usually they'll send you either a physical check or bank deposit.
Yeah.
But I never set up my bank deposit, and I didn't know. I just didn't know. I didn't think about the money. I just wasn't thinking about it. So they will send you a gift card, and I have $500 gift card, $300 gift card, and all this in my emails. But I just kept ignoring them because I thought it was spam. But one day I needed to buy something on Amazon. I was just like, let me check to see if these gift cards are real. So I went on Amazon and I reached out. I was like, I wanted to verify if these things are real. And they told me yes, they were all from my YouTube. I mean, from the links. I was like, so I went search through
Dude.
my emails and I saw a bunch of.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, I was just like, man, you mean to tell me I can make this money? So now every month I'm making more money on Amazon than I am from YouTube. But my people are coming from YouTube, you know.
Shoot, yeah, we'll
So
plug. Yeah, we can plug your YouTube.
so
What is it?
I mean, it's more. My YouTube is a tech channel, so it's one of those. It's just King Cola underscore. But what I want
Oh,
to
okay.
suggest to you is while you're doing YouTube, right? Do you have I'm guessing you don't have an Amazon affiliate link account. Do you? You don't have an Amazon
No,
affiliate
not
or Amazon Associates?
n-
Okay.
no.
Okay, what you would want to do is I'm going to talk to you offline about this, how to set it up, because you just never
Okay.
know. I mean, think about it, man. $500 check or $200 check, that could literally go into your groceries. That could literally go into
Yeah,
new equipment for your studio. You just,
yeah,
without even thinking about it, it just came to me by
yeah.
accident. It's something I signed up for, but I just randomly got checks that I wasn't even expecting. You know,
No, I'll
so
definitely chat
let's
with you
say,
about
let's
that
say,
after
let's
this.
say you shoot an episode, right? And you're shooting this, and you're like, by the way, I've been using this for my forearms. If you want one of these, you can just click the link in the description and get one, and just continue with what you're saying. I guarantee you, if 100 people watch your video, at least one of them is gonna click on that link. Whether they buy or not, it doesn't matter. But
Th-
eventually, one person will buy. If you watch my YouTube stories, every now and then you will see that I post something and I have a link. This is the protein shake because everybody's always asking me what kind of protein you take. This is the protein shake I use. If you want one, click this link. It's not. It's literally
God,
you,
only in America. I mean,
you
everywhere in
spend
the
like
world,
six,
but that's
seven
so
seconds.
cool.
Yeah, you spend like 6, 7 seconds to talk about something. That 6, 7 seconds can literally bring you money.
Man, I just
Yeah,
sometimes you just gotta laugh and think like, man, just the way the world is. It's like, yeah, I'm talking
yeah.
about blah 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 blah. Oh, by the way, this
Mhm.
these headphones is what I'm using. All right, and then
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah, I did it for one of my videos. I was outside shooting a YouTube video, and it's this glasses that transitions from dark to light. And as I was recording the video, I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to take these glasses off." They're so cool because you can turn it on and off at dark. But there's a link in the description, anyways. But anyways, as I was saying, did you know a bunch of people went and bought their glasses?
Dude.
Crazy. Yeah,
Yeah, we definitely got to talk offline about that
I
because
had a
I got
massage
some
thing on
questions.
my neck. I had a massage thing that I bought for my neck. I just put a link. That massage thing made me so much money on Amazon. I didn't even. I mean, I figured people were gonna click on the link, but I didn't think that many people were gonna click on it. It's crazy.
People that got so many neck problems. Everybody's got tech neck.
Yeah,
Everybody's looking
yeah,
down. So like
hmm yeah,
supply and
yeah,
demand, yo. That's
yeah,
awesome,
man.
dude.
Well, we gotta talk, man. I gotta put you on. That's why I'm
Yeah,
so excited that you're doing this because I'm like, oh, bro, I have so
hey
much to
man,
share
I
with
will
you.
have you on every week. I don't care. I really don't. Like
Nah,
it's
it don't
literally
even, bro. It doesn't even need to be. It doesn't even have to be up here. I will talk to you offline, bro, because
in
I have
general.
so
Oh
many
yeah,
things.
just
Yeah, I have so many things I want
yeah.
to share with you that you can use to your advantage, man.
Then let's
I
do
just
it.
love it. I love when the people that I was in the Navy with are doing something more than just.
Exist like
I want all
existing in
my
a way.
friends to be better than they were before they got out of the Navy, than they were. Nothing I hate more than seeing people that I was in the Navy with and just doing nothing with their life right now. I'm not saying like
Yeah.
just because I don't see it doesn't mean they're not doing nothing, but I've seen people that it just seems like all they do is just work and sleep. Like,
No,
damn,
it's no.
it's
You're
multi-life,
right.
just work and sleep.
Yeah, and it's not even just the Navy thing too. It's just like how
Yeah,
society has us like kind of
yeah,
asleep, and
mm-hmm.
you only can hear from strangers, people you know, telling me, "Hey, you'd be great at X," and then when you
Yeah,
finally decide to do X, then all the praise comes your way. They're like, and then everything I've heard so far is it's about time. What
yeah,
took so long? And you
yeah,
think like, man, like why is it such a hard time for us to believe the people we trust, know, even strangers? It's interesting. Like, yeah, getting
yeah.
out of the Navy is such like a blur. You're kind of like,
Yeah,
what
I
do you do
remember.
now?
Yeah, I remember when you were doing short films and stuff like that. And I always thought that you can really take this serious if you can really take this to another level. Obviously, it's gonna take time. Sometimes you're gonna try some things and they're just not gonna work out. But sometimes if you invest more time in it, or you just push harder into something, regardless of how it's going or not, it could just take like this right now. Maybe one or two people watch, maybe three people watch, but you never know. Maybe that one person
I'm
that might
so
watch,
one
like,
person.
dude, I wanna come on your show. I wanna do this, and that person might have a reach. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, and that's why even with the short films and stuff, like I'm still have interest in doing those for sure.
Hmm.
Even the ones I've did and worked on, like I'm always proud of it, whether they finished or not, whether it was for freelance, which I've done for money for other companies or not.
Hmm.
I just like trying. And even like, okay, three people watched it. That one person who saw it can be like, you know what, I can do that better than that guy. That's fine. That's
Yeah.
inspiring. I don't
Hmm.
I hope you do it better than me. I hope all things happen. It's fine
Yeah.
with me. But like,
Yeah.
it's everything's in its season, and I'm just trying. I'm doing what I love to do. I like talking and
Yeah.
listening to people. I love talking about creativity. I love being creative. It's in my
Yeah.
blood. It's in my,
Yeah.
you know, Lord knows I've been
Yeah.
told to shut up enough, and I'm like, let me channel that into something else.
Yeah, I did a tutorial of some software and it didn't get a lot of views initially. Like the first 2 months, there was not a lot of views. But one day, it
Mm.
just randomly blew up and I had no idea. I was trying to figure out why it blew up. But then I had got an email of somebody who was saying, "Thank you for making this video." They were the developer of the software. So they posted my video on their
Oh
website.
wow!
That video skyrocketed everything on my channel. It didn't get a lot of videos. It didn't get a lot of views, but the one person that did see it was the developer, and they
So you
posted
know,
that video on their website. So a lot of people. So that's how I was getting a lot of traffic from that one video that
that's
didn't get a lot of
awesome.
views. I just did it because Why not? You know,
No,
maybe
that's
somebody.
how I'm
Yeah,
operating for right now.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
operating
I
like
love it.
I'm just gonna do it, and what's the worst that can happen? Somebody tells me no, I don't want to talk to you. Well, guess what? I can
Right,
talk to the camera on my own.
yeah,
I got enough thought. I got 30 some years of thoughts. Let's
right.
do it. Uh,
Hmm.
but
But what kind of
nah,
camera are you using?
this one right now is a Logitech webcam. It's not 4K. It's a TP. Because I have other
Right,
cameras that I'm thinking of you. I'm just experimenting. One, I'm trying to make it
right,
easy. I don't want a whole just put this here, set up here. Like, look,
right, right.
I'm raised in an age where I know behind the smoke and mirrors of creating videos and entertainment.
Right.
Like, I know some of the tricks of the trade. I know
Yeah.
if you're likable and people can at least hear you, they'll watch you
Good.
do
Good
whatever.
audio.
If
Yeah.
Yeah, like if the audio's good, but even then, if you have personality, personality goes a long way. People will watch the worst people because they have personality. Not saying that's
Yeah.
me, but just I know that like I don't have to have the fanciest lights, the fanciest cameras, the fanciest equipment. I just have to have grit, some likability, and just be authentic. And what's more
Yeah.
authentic than okay, I stuttered over some words, I my camera crapped out. Like people love the determination and the grit that is in
Right.
every aspect of life. And I don't care who you are, what you do. Now, when you get to a
Hmm.
certain point and everything looks polished, sure. But then there's nothing
Right.
like that down in the mud, gritty feel of when you first started. Like when YouTube first
Yeah.
started, like all these old school
Hmm.
YouTubers, like you go look at their old stuff, people
Hmm.
still gravitate towards it because they know what they're talking about. So that's why
Yeah.
I'm operating. Like I could make a billion, let's just say for funny, $1 billion doing this or various other
Yeah.
endeavors. I could
Yeah.
probably never change this camera. It's like
Yeah.
if I wear the same type of shoes and the same sneakers, like why would I
Yeah.
change it?
Hmm.
You know?
Yeah. I only brought it up because I thought it might be something you could use to capture moments for when you're roller skating, but I didn't know if it was something that
Oh
you could
no,
actually. Yeah.
I
No.
know. I'm a look. If I when I get that 360 camera, like I'm just gonna have
Hmm.
that forever. Like I'm one of these people. Like I have the same pairs of pants I've had for like I keep things. Like I'm not a hoarder, but
Yeah.
like I'm
Yeah.
literally an NPC. I'm like a cartoon character. These shorts,
Mm.
this shirt. It's like all right, it's
Yeah.
Tuesday. Time to wear this
Yeah.
thing. Like
Hmm.
I don't like clutter and I don't like a lot of crap around me. Like I
Yeah.
have a pull-up bar. I have 50-pound
Mhm.
dumbbells. All right, I think that's good.
Yeah.
I don't need much. No, I appreciate it, man. Um,
Yes, sir.
before I let you go, so you said you're on your YouTube again. Do you want to plug
Mhm.
anything that? Because I noticed also your shirt too. Is that your?
Nah, I'm not. This is just some company that sent me free stuff. But my
Okay,
YouTube is just King Kola underscore.
cool.
It's
I'll
just
put it in the intro.
yeah, it's just if you find something, some tech, whatever it is you want to watch, go ahead. If it's tutorial you need, if it's up there, fine. If it's not, it is what it is. I'm in the mindset where I just create what I want, regardless of who watches.
That's how I am.
Yeah.
Like I will
Yeah.
literally like I'm into baking healthy cheesecakes now. Another thing that's
Yeah.
happening with me, I find different recipes online and I just try it. I'll
Hmm.
literally do that. Regardless, people want to watch me bake a cheesecake. Sure, why not? Now I'm
Hmm.
not in the
Yeah.
vlog in my everyday life. I do love separation of church and state. Like I need to
Yeah.
have my own stuff, but no,
Yeah.
I'm putting stuff out there. Look, I was in the
Hmm.
military. My information's out there. It's too late.
Right. It's too late.
It's over. Like I'm not precious about it. No big
Yeah.
deal.
Hmm.
But I appreciate you coming on and chatting with me. I appreciate you listening to Nico talk. Jay asked a question
Yeah, I
that
heard it.
he wanted me to ask. So I'm asking to
I heard it.
you, who's somebody that you know that you think I should know or talk to?
When I heard that question, I was just like, the next person going is gonna have a hard time. Um,
And that's you.
well, I didn't know it would be me. I didn't know it would be me, so I didn't plan for it.
That's all right.
Uh, um, I really don't know.
That's
If I would
okay.
have to say, I have a friend named Tyler. He's smart.
Okay.
He's very smart. Just like Jay said, you are very smart. This guy Tyler, he is when I first met him, I just didn't think much of him. Not that I thought negative or anything. I just didn't think of him at all. But
That's
the more I
fair.
spoke to him, the more interesting this guy is. He's very intricate. He's smart. He reads a lot of audiobook. He shares it with me. But what I love about him was the most is chatting with him. Right? I thought he was a bit older. When I found out it was only like 19, I was like, man, I gotta be friends with
Jeez.
you. Yeah.
Oh
I
wow.
was like, you gotta be older than that. It was just like,
He's
nah,
got an
it's
old
only like 19.
soul.
Yeah, but I think now though, I think he's like maybe 21 or something like that. I don't know how old is he now, but he's a good guy. He's a good person.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that would be somebody that I could, I think that is somebody that you could potentially feature on your channel. Now that I thought
Hey,
about it,
I
obviously you
hey
guys are not friends, but yeah,
hey, that'll work. And
yeah.
then I guess what is the question I could ask an expert?
Okay, this is something that is a question that I've always tried to ask everyone. This is something I've
Okay.
always had in my life because it's something that I've thought about. What your next guest, well, I mean, what you should ask your next guest is if you could be anything, any profession in the world, without any limitation of your color, skin, your gender, or anything, what would you choose to be? Would you choose to be a doctor, an actor, and why? It can't be just because I want to be a basketball player because they make millions of dollars. Like, why? What is the
Okay.
reason? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. How do you phrase that? I
Okay.
mean, you could be anybody
No,
in the
that's the
world.
perfect way.
Hmm.
No, that's an
Now,
awesome question.
the question goes for you too. I like to know how you can answer that.
Off the top of my head,
Yeah.
um,
Like, what is the one
I've
thing that you've always
always
wished you could do?
I've always thought it was cool to like almost be almost like an investigative reporter or journalist or private
Mm,
investigator. Not so much because I grew up, some of my family was in law enforcement and all that. And my feelings of that
mhm,
are, I wouldn't say complex. Like I'm, down with the man or, I get,
mhm.
like it, it's more so like I've always liked the idea of investigating. So like instead of being like a detective, because I never wanted to be a cop, I don't want to be all that.
Right.
But to be a detective, you need to be a cop. So I was like, I don't want to be no cop.
Mm,
But then I thought if I was like an investigative journalist or a private investigator, not digging up people's dirty laundry, but I think
mhm.
it's a job about human nature. And, I've always found that interesting. So like a
Yeah.
private investigator or an investigative journalist, just because, yeah, like, the whole, yeah, like if my
Yeah.
core of core beings is always F the police, but it's more so,
Yeah.
I ain't no
And,
rat,
and you think that, and
but
you think that, and you think that as long as your financial situations were met, you think that will fulfill you in a way, career wise.
I think so. Oh, and not career wise, and if my financials were, situation was good,
Yeah.
or
Hmm.
I didn't worry about money, and I just had
Yeah.
time to kill. Like, yeah, I think
Yeah.
being an investigative reporter or a private investigator, just somebody people call on to help them. Like,
Hmm.
hey, I need to find this person. Can you help me with this X task? That's why like in certain video games, I love the idea of being like not like a mercenary, but more so like I do odd
Yeah.
jobs for people, a jack of all trades, like old school TV shows like that I used to like. But, that's why I kind of like spy stuff. The idea that you have to use your brain to solve an
Yeah.
issue instead of like
Yeah.
guns and a fist. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's
I
my
can
answer to that.
whenever I ask people this question, their reply can always tell me what kind of movies they would like.
Yeah, I love stuff where
Yeah.
somebody has to like detective. That's kind of where I love detective stories, not like police
Mhm.
procedurals where they're locking people up, but like, okay,
Yeah.
who done it? It's like because it takes a lot of brain power to chase a serial killer. Because like when you think of
Yeah.
cop shows and propaganda, I'm not into that like that back the blue, and I understand, my family's in law enforcement, so I know
Yeah.
this is a touchy subject, but I don't care to talk about it. But it's more so for
Yeah.
me, I like the idea of investigating and trying to
Hmm.
figure out who did it, why, human nature, So nah, that's a cool
Yeah.
question to ask, actually. I like that. Thank you.
Have you
I'll
seen a
ask
movie?
it.
Have you seen a movie called Knives Out?
Oh yeah, I've seen both of them.
Okay, I was about to say you should check them out, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
man.
I really enjoyed those movies. I think I like the first one a little more, but I still
Hmm.
it's that who did it, why. So yeah, like
Yeah.
his character, like he's just a private detective. He
Hmm.
like Sherlock Holmes. Like I've always liked Sherlock Holmes, and you never feel like icky watching Sherlock Holmes stuff because he's
Yeah.
like a contractor. I like things
Hmm.
where you operate sort of outside the law, but
Right.
still do things that are good. Like the Punisher. Well, the Punisher kills criminals, but like he still operates outside that bubble
Right.
because he knows how corrupt it is. So I think if I was like a
Hmm.
private investigator, not a bounty hunter, but like, oh, I'm going around, solving your everyday issues. That's why I always like Blue's
Yeah.
Clues. Dora the Explorer annoyed me, but Blue's Clues was like, what is this? Like, let's find out.
Right. Yeah.
Um, no, okay, I'll ask that to the next person. That's a awesome question to ask.
Yeah.
No, thank you for that. And then
Sure.
the last question is, should we still follow each other?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. If you had said no, I'd have been like, all right, well,
I
that's
know.
them's the
I
breaks.
see what you did. I see what you did, Jay.
Like, all right, dude. But nah, it's great talking to you, man. We'll definitely we'll chat offline, just in general, just
Yeah.
talking in general, catching up, and then especially next time up in Virginia, definitely Chesapeake, right? Somewhere in there,
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
stop on by. Yeah,
Absolutely,
same thing if
man.
you're ever down here in like Orlando, like, hey, please.
Absolutely.
All right,
All right,
man.
man.
It's good talking with you.
I appreciate the talk. It was great talking to you too, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah, yeah. Life, brother.
Yeah. Life.
All right.